Hello, this is Teresa and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to do a flip through of my recently started tall document journal. So this is part one. And I know I stopped talking and stop and start. That's because my brain can't keep up with my mouth, or vice versa. So instead of stuttering, which I used to do a lot when I was younger, I stop and think about what I want to say and then move forward. So I've been listening to my videos a little bit, which I usually don't do because it's kind of painful sometimes. Watching my hands shake, listening to my voice shake sometimes, listening to the stop and start. I don't like to say a lot of okays or ums, or what would you call them? Substitute words, pause words, something like that. I try to have a very straightforward discussion when I'm crafting or showing a journal like this and that sort of thing. I have some dirt on my hand. Anyways, this is it. This is my tall document journal. I guess you could say that this is my first tall document journal. What's really funny is once I got my pages selected and decided what I wanted to do and everything, I started thinking about what I wanted to do for a cover. And I wanted to do like an old file folder like Rachel with Roxy Creations did, because I thought it looked really cool, but I didn't have anything like that. And I ran across this, and this is an old Albertsons grocery bag that I used, and the journal was like, it was just a journal cover, and it was about this big, and it had some stuff in it, and on the inside had some ugly colored designer series paper from Stampin' Up. And I thought, gosh, this might work for what I want for the tall document journal. So I took it all apart, and now it's like it is here. So I'm going to want to do some more stuff to cover up some of the Albertsons stuff, but I think it's going to do the trick. I think it's going to cut the mustard. And I'm really into elastic button closures like this as of last week, or the week before maybe. But this is my new thing, and this one is too small for this journal. It's pulling there. So I am going to make a bigger one, but I wanted to use this one because the bigger one, I'm going to use this button. I like this button with this. So let's go ahead, excuse me, and take a look at what I've done. This has been bound together with, what is it called? Document binding, I think. This is the first time I've done this. I think this is the first time I've done this. On the inside, I lined my, first of all, I scored this and folded this over a little bit to reinforce the edges, which I don't usually do, and that was a good practice, I think. Then I lined the inside with a page from a magazine that I have. This magazine is a 1944 Radiocraft magazine, and I love it. I love the coloring in it, and I love it. So then I used, what did I use? Let's see if I can figure this out. This is called Document Journal Kit. I don't know if I can figure this out quickly, but let's give it a shot. Document Journal Kit. So I go to Digitals, Then I go to Roxy's Creations, R. And then it is Document Journal Pages Kit 3. So that's where I got this from. And I just love the look of that. I love the birds. I love that it looks like some of this stuff may be embroidered or is maybe a tapestry. And then you've got the lace there. Now, I just finished doing this, so it's going to need some TLC. It's going to need some touch-up. But I made the mistake of printing out the kit the correct way. That wasn't the mistake. But then when I use the background pages, which I think is a relatively new kit, and that one is, I'm looking, I want to say maybe Plain Journal Pages Kit 3. Background Journal Pages. Nope, it's not Background Journal Pages. Yeah, this is Backgrounds Kit 3. This is where whoops, I'm on the wrong page. Right here, this. So on the back side is what I printed. Background Kit 3. So I got a little carried away, didn't think through things first, and so I have a white line on all of these pages on the back side. So I went through every one of the pages and I dealt with that white edge because I didn't want to cut this down and make it any smaller, and I didn't want to reprint and waste this. Because when I do that, then I usually use this stuff for like collage pages and stuff, and I don't need any more collage scraps, so I dealt with it. So this one has a little ribbon on it, and then we have a piece of Florentine that was kind of like a scrap, so it's not a perfect piece. Then we have a page from my music book that I got at a, what was it? It was some kind of show at the expo down in Boise. And it says that the date is MCMX111. So if we go to Google and we put in, oops, I don't have my keyboard. Let's see if I can reach over here. MCMX11 I is 1913. Yep, 1913. So that's the date of this. So early 1900s is what most of my original ephemera pages, whatever you want to call it, are. So here's the next beautiful digital. And for this one, I just did some inking on the edge. Here we have some of the beautiful 1600s Warmy paper that I purchased. Yep, I bought paper that has wormholes in it. And so here we have just a sort of maybe vintage journal page. This is some ephemera from a magazine ephemera that I got. And I don't know if there's a date on the other side or not. I just love these birds. Now look at what I did on this page on the side. This one I used texture paste, and I love it. It has texture to it, has a fun feel to it, and I think it looks great. Oh, here's some more Warmy 1600s paper. Here's a piece of pink mulberry paper. Here's a piece of tea-dyed paper that I did. Here's a piece of vellum because I wanted to use this piece of fabric. I love this beautiful lime colored circles, dots, Swiss dot maybe, because you know, it is bright, but it's like vintage bright, if that makes any sense. And that's how I see it in my head. And I thought it would look lovely behind a piece of vellum paper. So that's what I did. And I'm sure that idea will go further. I don't know where it's going to go, but that's where we're at now. And look how that coordinates so well with this next page. This page is really cool because you could even write notes on this page. This page, I use some of my gauzy type ribbon that I have, that I love. And it just reminds me of like something you'd see in your first aid kit. This is an old ledger page that I bought from an Etsy shop. I just love seeing people's handwritten pencil and pen writing. Here is a page from a botanical book that I have. I thought those colors went really nice together. I just love every one of these digitals. And I love how on this background paper it made it very difficult for me to screw it up because I'm always printing upside down. So this goes that way, but this goes that way. And I believe, yep, that's a V and an E and it's going the right way. So hallelujah. This page I took, what did I do with this page? I stamped it. I stamped this page on the edge. And then I had this beautiful photo page from an Ireland book that I have. I found in a thrift store. I think it was I don't remember. This is a multimedia page. Oh my gosh. Stupid guy is yelling at his dog. Okay. So anyways, this is a not mass media. Doggone it. Multimedia? No. What do I call these? Mixed media. This is a mixed media page that I did with some kind of tissue and stamping, and I did all of that on a tea dyed paper, and then there were like some stains or something from doing this side. I even used some white ink on this, but anyways, I liked how this looked rustic back here on the back, so that was a good fit for me. And I thought that this page is a nice segue into this beautiful page. And you got all these lines for writing on. And then look at this. Oh, I love this cross stitch embroidery. That's the only thing I can do, cross stitch. I used to do it all the time, but I don't anymore. This page on the outline, I masked some design on the edge. Here's a beautiful piece of fabric that I just got in a fabric pack from the Paper Outposts, and it's a little bit, not a lot though, really, I don't think, because Rachel's fabric packs are very reasonably priced, and so I got a fabric pack for $59 from Florida, and that's it, no shipping and handling. And then I got a fabric pack from Rachel, and the prices vary, so I think the last one I paid for was maybe $60, but that was her newest bundle that she put out, I think. Don't hold me to it. Here's a piece of Braille paper that is very white, but because it's Braille and it had this type of edge on it, I felt like it was a good fit for this journal. Now I may end up using some faux vintage tape on some of these areas because that looks like that needs reinforced, or I may just put a piece of fabric there. That might be a good idea. So this one was too long and I didn't want to sacrifice any of it, so I folded it up, and we've got a little pocket that I'm going to glue here on the side. Isn't it fun how they did these tick marks on here? Of course I can't read that. Cognomeanome. So Nome might be name. Cognom enom. Is that Spanish? Huh. My husband might be able to interpret it. And we've got a lovely piece of straw paper here. Another lovely digital with a cute bird. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. This one I coffee dyed on the edge. And there's another one of those pages from the magazine. Here's a piece of vintage grid paper, vintage piano paper, and I was afraid to leave it just by itself, so I kind of like mounted it to a piece of tea dyed paper, and then I used these to reinforce it a little bit. So I've got a side pocket here. Just another piece of digital, and to hide that white I glued this what is this called, rickrack on it. And then we have a lovely piece of cabbage dyed paper. This is a vintage letter. That was hard to use, you know, because you just want to stash this kind of thing. This journal will be for sale, so it will be listed in my Ko-fi shop, of which the link is in the description. And then this was a map from an ephemera package that I bought from Etsy, an Etsy shop. And this is of the West Midlands area by Sutton, Dudley, Birmingham, Coventry. So that would be the UK, right? And now we're on the other side of things. So this letter was all folded and bent like that, so I left it like that. Had a little hole up here at the top. All of that, it just adds to it. So on this page, you know, some of these pages I had to cut them down. So what I did was I folded it so that I wouldn't have to cut down like the, it's not necessarily called patina, but you know, the dyed edge that you get on your tea dyed paper. Anyways, I didn't want to cut that down, so I just moved the fold over so I'd only have to cut down one side, and on that side I just did a funky tear with one of my tear rollers. Beautiful. This guy who lives next door to us in another trailer, because we're in a trailer park, is hardly ever there, but man, when he's there, you know it. Banging the door open and back and forth, and has what he thinks is a hot rod, and he revs it up when he goes somewhere and yelling at his dog. You know, you're in a trailer park. You're not supposed to have your dogs loose, so wouldn't you think he'd pick up his dog and carry it to his trailer, or have it on a leash before it gets out of the car? You know, things like you would do with your children to make sure that they're safe. To me, it's just common sense. This is some lovely washi tape that I got from Amazon, and I thought it went really well because it's got that cute bird on there with this other paper that I'm using. So nothing new over here, except for this magazine page was 2 pages. So what I did on this side was I folded it so that it's got this fold out, and you can read a lot of the information on here if a person would like to. I thought that would be fun. Look at that side of the image, beautiful. Wants to curl a little bit because of the coffee dyeing. I don't know if that's a date, or no, I think that's an amount for 1860. I don't think we have a date on here. If we do, I've got it covered up. It's probably right there. It's covered up. So it's impossible to have the whole journal in camera. So I apologize if there was stuff on the bottom like that you didn't get to see, but I'll be working in this a lot more, and I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot more of this. I love those kind of views. Where's the other side? And then ocean. These colors are beautiful. Look how well those colors, you know, that's just a happy accident. And it is so fun to see what happy accidents you end up after you put a journal together. This is just going to be a little tuck spot, or I'll use it, what's the word, to expand. Just looking for some dates. Better get that glued down so it doesn't get messed up. I don't see a date on that side either, but it's a book page, so it wouldn't necessarily have a date on it. So pretty. I love this image. I see this in several digitals, and I have one digital kit that has this as part of the ephemera. I just love that piece right there a lot. Okay, so that's what we've got so far for part 1, and I used up the very last of my jute twine, or at least this size jute twine. The other size is much thicker. So when you know, I have really a lot of thin elastic, but I only had a tiny bit of this size jute twine, and it came from an Etsy purchase, I'm sure. So that's what I have for today, and I hope that you enjoyed that. This little tab, I didn't mention that actually this material, this fabric, and this fabric all came from the fabric pack that I bought from the Paper Outpost, and she's in Florida, so it doesn't take very long to get a package from her. It was really nice, and I actually did do a video, now that I think of it, on that, and I think that was like a couple of days ago, so you might be interested in going and taking a look at that. So next I'm going to make a bigger button closure for this journal, and then I'm going to start filling it up with pockets and side tucks and belly bands and oh my, all of that fun stuff. So I hope you were inspired. If you were, please be sure to hit the like button. And if not, go ahead and hit the dislike button. Also, if you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you subscribed it. That is a huge blessing to me. And please check out my description. There's contact information in there. My address is in there if you'd like to send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and get a little surprise back. I'd be happy to bless you with that. And I'm still working on my idea to start journaling when I'm demonstrating. I don't know if I have, it's not here, is it? Where did I put it? Well, phooey, I had a piece of paper around here and now I don't see it. Anyways, I bought a digital journal that I can print out pages. Can't believe I didn't put it in here if it's not hanging out. But I'm working on incorporating that into my journals too. Now, that I will incorporate it into journals like my glue book, my ephemera books, and that sort of thing. Not so much into something like this that I want to put up for sale. So, because I don't know if that would be to the liking of somebody. I was just noticing I have all these notes here of ideas that I wrote down at like 3 o'clock this morning as to how I was going to resolve those white borders on. So I put page of fabric. Oh, that was just some page ideas. Make new tea dye because I wanted to and I actually coffee dyed for the edge of the paper. Texture paste some edges, stamp some edges, mask some edges, lace on some edges. Faux washi tape as well on the places where, you know, I didn't feel like it covered up enough, which I haven't done yet. That idea is still in the making. Okay, now I am going to let you go. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention is please go ahead and take a look at my Facebook group, Junk Journaling United. That's Junk Journaling United. It's a great place to go to share what you've done, because yes, I share what I do, but I'd love to see what you're doing, especially if, you know, you're doing some things from Roxy Creations or Amanda with Creating with Scrimping Mommy, things like that. I have links to those channels in my description. I share with you what Etsy shops I typically like to shop at. Not all of them, of course, but hopefully there'll be some helpful information there in the description for you. Okay, well, that's it for today.